Good morning, Prep 2. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. This is Yasmin with you. So, this video is mainly about the drama, and as I told you before, that we're going to study the drama throughout the whole year. In the first term, we studied Acts 1 and 2. In the second term, we're going to study Acts 3, 4, and 5. But it's very important to know that we have to link the events together. We have to recall the events that happened in the first term, in the first two acts, as they were very important. So in order to link between the events that previously happened in Acts 1 and 2 with the upcoming events that will happen in Acts 3, 4, and 5, I got one-page summary for the first term acts. So let's try to remember together. First of all, the play opened with a war between Scotland and Norway, where our hero Macbeth was fighting courageously with his sword, defending his country faithfully. And if you remember, Macbeth is our hero. He is one of the king's men and the soldiers. He is a very, very loyal warrior. He is very loyal to King Duncan and to his country as well. Thane of Cawdor turned out to be a traitor who allowed the Norwegians to enter Scotland and scare its people. So, as we know that Thane means the one who is responsible for a specific area in the country. Macbeth was Thane of Glamis, and there was another Thane of the area which called Cawdor. This Thane of Cawdor turned out to be a traitor. He allowed the Norwegians to enter Scotland. He betrayed the king, he betrayed his country as well. So, he must have been killed because he was a betrayal. Macbeth brought victory to Scotland. On his way back, accompanied by his friend Banquo, they came across three weird witches. And as you know, these witches appeared in only one scene in both the two acts. But their role was very important because they changed the whole event upside down. Everything was different right after their words. What happened? On his way back with his friend Banquo was a soldier too, they were going back to King Duncan in order to inform him with their victory. They met three witches. These witches made prophecies to both of them. So, if you remember the prophecies, let's remember them together. Macbeth would be Thane of Glamis. Macbeth would be Thane of Cawdor. Macbeth would be the king thereafter. And when Banquo asked them about his prophecies as well, they told him that he would never be the king, but his children would be king. He wouldn't be happy, but he would be happier than Macbeth. He wouldn't be great, but he would be greater than Macbeth. And as you know that the witches are not good characters. Actually, they are evil characters who manipulate people by the double meaning words. You didn't know what they wanted to tell you. You didn't know the clear words. You didn't know the clear meaning out of their words. Do they mean so or they mean another words? Okay, so right after hearing their prophecies, Macbeth and Banquo were confused. First, they didn't believe anything. But something happened which made them started to think again about their words. Right after they vanished, without telling them the clear explanation for their prophecies, Macbeth and Banquo met a messenger who came to let Macbeth know that he was announced to be the Thane of Cawdor, and that the King Duncan was coming to celebrate the victory in Macbeth Castle. So, what was happening then? Macbeth was the Thane of Glamis, and right after, he was announced to be the Thane of Cawdor. And these are the first two prophecies. How about the third one? What would you do if you were Macbeth? For sure, you're gonna think about the witch's words. Oh my God, they're coming true. So, they're not lying to me. They're not faking words. They are talking seriously. And two prophecies of the three came true. How about the third one? So, at that moment, Macbeth started to think seriously about the prophecies. He wrote a letter to his wife. He told her everything about the witches, and he told her that King Duncan would come to them that night. The time she read his letter, she planned everything. She loves power. She loves strength. She wanted the third prophecy to come true. And she got a strong belief that Macbeth deserved to be the king. And she deserved to be the queen as well. So she planned everything. Do you remember the plan? Yes. The plan was to kill the king so that the way would be clear to Macbeth and he would be the king so that the third prophecy would come true. She told Macbeth that she planned everything and that he didn't have to worry about anything. Lady Macbeth poured her words in Macbeth's ears, telling him that it was his right and fate as well to be the king. And if he didn't kill Duncan, he would lose everything, even his manhood. She started to use her evil spirit. She started to play a game on him. She started to try to convince him with her words. You had the right to be the king. You brought the victory to Scotland. This is your fate. This is your what you deserve it. So you had to go through this. You had to fight in order to be the king. And if you didn't do so, you wouldn't be a man. So these words made him very nervous and angry. Macbeth, his nature, he had a good nature. He tried to tell her that this wasn't manhood. Manhood is to be loyal. Manhood is to be courageous. Manhood is to be brave. To fight loyally to your country. And to be very loyal and faithful to your king. Not to kill the king. He would come that night to stay in my castle, to celebrate my victory, to honor me. So how would I do so? He would be my guest. I'm his host. He had to be safe. This is my right to do. Actually, King Duncan came to the castle to celebrate Macbeth's victory, to announce for all people around that Macbeth would be the Thane of Cawdor as well, and that his son Malcolm would be his successor. Do you remember successor? Successor means the one who would inherit his position after he passed away. So, after King Duncan would die, his son Malcolm would be the king. That made Macbeth angry. That made him think of his wife's words that he had the right to be the king. Yes, I deserved to be the king. I had to clear the way. I had to get rid of everyone who stands in front of my prophecy. This is my right. So at midnight, Macbeth's wife made everything ready. She made the guards drunk, and then they had a deep sleep. Macbeth would go to King Duncan's room while sleeping and stab him in the heart with his dagger and then leave the daggers on the guard's clothes so that when people wake up and see the guards soaked with the blood, of the king and the daggers on their clothes, they would know that the guards would be the killers of the king. That's what exactly happened. Except for one thing that Macbeth didn't do. After killing Duncan, he didn't take the daggers with him. He was in a bad state of mind. He was unconscious. He killed him nervously, angrily, and then left everything, went out to wash himself. He left the daggers in the room. No, he took the daggers with him. He didn't leave them in the room. Lady Macbeth took the daggers back. She soaked the doors with blood. She put the daggers on their clothes. And the day after, it was known for everyone that King Duncan was killed. And after knowing that, his sons ran away. They were so afraid. They can't see daggers in everyone's eyes. They weren't feeling safe. They were afraid to be killed as well. So they escaped immediately, and the guards were accused of killing the king. So that Macbeth killed the guards as well. So what's left to be happened? Macbeth was announced to be the king of Scotland. And that was the end of Act 2. Did you remember the events? Did you remember the characters? Did you remember the plot? I hope so. Let's meet again in Act 3 summary. Thank you. Bye.